Hi, what's going on? Hello, hello, hello. Oh wow, it's getting brighter. Pardon me. So yes, excuse me. Wait, can you see the little candle? Awesome. And this and this and this and apologies. It's just that I want to pull my hair back a little bit because my hair got bleeding. All right, basically like this. This is how the hair originally is, but I have to wash it because I forgot to sleep with my bonnet on, and it's just I've been getting a little messy, so now I gotta wash the hair. But yeah, it was my face earlier, and I was trying to pull it back, and so now every so often I'm pulling my hair from my face. Anyway, hello, what's going on? It's February 28th. It's the last hour of um the day of February 28th, which is Wednesday. Now, this is traditionally the last day of Black History Month. However, this year is very special because tomorrow is February 29th. So that is a leap year. I think it's a very like auspicious occasion. It's just like, it's really people will think like, oh, it's just nothing. But I think it's special. It's a leap year. I think this makes this year even more special because, you get the 29th day, and there's also some other kind of astronomical astronomical things. Um, there's some type of like a planetary special kind of occasions that happen this year. I cannot recall. I'd have to look that up, but that is not the topic or even the subject matter that I want to have in this video. The thing I want to talk about in this video is about Black History Month. So, which is traditionally ends today within the next hour, but because of the leap year, it is not going to end today. It's going to end tomorrow with the U.S. calendar speaking. Black History Month, any other time. Black History Month is Black history is celebrated all day, every day, but traditionally and U.S. speaking, and as far as like the calendar goes, the last day traditionally is supposed to be today, but we have a leap year for tomorrow. Okay, bam, boom. So sorry, it took like 3 minutes almost. 2 hours. I'm sorry, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Anyway. Um, so I was posting just a couple things on my Twitter about Black history, and one was about Otabenga, the human zoo, the man who was captured, tricked basically into coming overseas to the U.S., and he was subjected to inhumane cruelty by being placed into a zoo, his final place before he was released. And he was the people there, the people who had tricked him, was saying that, oh, he's just there to um, basically attend to the monkeys that are inside because he was staying in the monkey house. Unfortunately for unfortunately for these very stupid racist people, for them, because they definitely victimize themselves. People were just not buying that shit, and they were just like in an uproar, rightfully and justly. So it started out with the church, respectively, one white and one black um, representatives from the church, from two different churches, were like, this is inhumane. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, even in the eyes of God, like, this shit is just wrong. And I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but the people, of course, a lot of them, the majority of them white, were all like, no, this is very entertaining. Some of them were kind of, turned off, and even the ones who supposedly were elated about, seeing this exhibition, were laughing and cheering and also mocking the poor young man, and then turning away, kind of feeling just like a tinge of guilt or a tinge of shame and pity for that person. Nonetheless, what was wrong was wrong. It happened in in the early 1900s, so the 21st no, excuse me, the 20th century, and I think it was like 1906. And this young man truly was all the fuck alone, and he had a lot of his time being just, experimented on, and judged and criticized. He didn't have any privacy. He was there, but for the most part, he didn't have any privacy. People were just being very invasive, being very intrusive into his quarters, and his quarters were just, it was a zoo, like it was a monkey house. Do you know how foul and how foul smelling that is? Like the conditions of that, that's just so fucking disgusting. And yet there were people, white people, that were there thinking that this shit was fine, that this shit was okay. It is insane to know that it is insane to know that worldwide that kind of practice happened throughout the world, and people were just, it was normalized. People thought it was okay to go into other people's habitat, take them from where they are and try to recreate it on in their own personal towns, far away from home and in like a stranger's land, and just have people watch them, laugh at them, criticize what they're dressing, their culture, anything that made them feel special, anything that made them feel, just like an individual, not like an animal or a pet. Fast forward to today, we still see that same kind of disconnect where people feel just so captivated by staring at somebody. And it's also weird because they feel they feel a sense of empowerment. And you watch for so long, it becomes entitlement for these people, these horrible people, and it's different races. And it's really wild on how those people also consist of black people. Black people have been for a very, very, very long time, for too long. It seems like, for a very long time, they have been the ones at the very bottom to just get the shit out of the stick. And I've spent most of my life literally advocating and speaking up and just supporting, obviously, black rights. And I say it and I used to just say it more in a unified way, but I've learned to disconnect myself from it because I have been at the harm end of many, 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 the majority of the black community. So definitely the majority, if not the no, the entirety of black people within Trenton, New Jersey, and definitely the majority, if not the entirety, of black people within the state of New Jersey, and in fact the tri-state. So with all the things that have come to with all the things that have come to pass, and the evidence that I have, and just the things that I wanted to share with you guys, I'm very definitely put off by the fact that so many black people are the way they are. Like they have not developed as individuals. They have not. They have instead become so fucking stunted. And for a very long time, it really hurt for me to just not like, it took until this year for me to just not really want to define myself as just as a black person. Like, unless I gotta check a fucking census. It's just like, God damn. It's you really come out of it where it's just like, okay, so what race would you want to call myself? What would you want to call yourself? I'm like, I don't want to call myself anything. Like, to be fucking honest, like I have been harmed by all races, and it's just really fucked up on how the one that I proudly identified as is the one that decided to, um harm me, intent to kill me, decided to vilify me, decided to assign an identity to me that's entirely not mine. Like most, if not the entirety of it, is between all of them. So, so I'm just, yeah, I'm really put off by a lot of the people within the black community because of the horrible and horrendous things that I had to be subjected to by myself, like publicly, during basically a modern human zoo experience. Like, wow. I wanted to give you guys some perspective because there were things that people thought that, oh, this was like, there are some black people, well, no, not some. There are a number of black people that really thought that, what's one of the common, what is it, the one of the common sayings, like sometimes you got to break a few eggs, were supposedly like, I'm, supposed to be an egg. Me and other people that they either had to, crush or step over in silence is considered an egg in order for, I guess, more black people in order to capitalize and find opportunistic ways in order to be financially stable or financially independent. Now, some people don't mind the risk of, becoming a sellout or the identity or whatever the definition of is of a sellout. But some people do mind, and some people decide to, take their, they have respect for themselves, they have respect for their culture, they have boundaries, and so some of them decide, not to go ahead and take certain kind of routes or certain kind of I guess actions, because it really is any action when you any action when you know that there is an ulterior motive can be a misstep to your own misfortune and find yourself deep in the pit of despair. And tragically, sometimes, and tragically, more often than not, these people will bring somebody else down with them. And if that person who was the one that was, clawing at the people to bring them down, more than likely is recruiting many people, and which is really sad. So that way they can hide behind them. That's just horrible. It really is. It really is fucking horrible. So all right. So here's the thing. People were trying, all right, so the greedy criminal black people that were just, really gung-ho with wanting to abuse me and trying to find no fault in it. The ends didn't justify the means, but they would think so because they had got money, they had got trips, they had got recognition, da 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 da. And it just really, at the very end of the day, it really says volumes about your own merit. How it really questions your characteristics and who you are as a person. Because every day there's somebody that's being born. Every day there's somebody that's turning the age of 18, the age of 21. It's just, I say this because every day there is a risk that that newborn baby can literally grow up to to be your competition, not somebody who you would actually hire, but decide to be like, you know what, I actually have other connections. I really don't align myself with you. I respect what you do, but however, I'm gonna make my business my own way and go on this side here. And it happens to outsell, and whatever, for whatever reason, maybe you just didn't do enough in order for you to kind of beat out the competition, or enough for you to have a name of your own where it's where it would literally carry over into like legacies, and and for generations to come. So it's just and then, so at that point people become really upset with me, and it's just like it's a misdirected hate, because it's just like, all right, you're thinking, gee, now I'm upset because now I can't learn anything else from Shalice, or I can't steal anything else from Shalice. But the thing here is, it's just that you've taken enough, or you've harmed me in order to get to where you are. Pardon me, because I have some pardon me. That is my dinner or my dessert. um let's see that actually. I'm sorry, I just didn't take out the label, so let me just okay. All right, so Mhm. Mm. All right. Um, let me say one thing. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I feel amazed. um, so yeah, basically it's just like, okay, so you're stealing from one source and you find yourself having to take from a source and it can't sustain you because you you didn't know. It's like, okay, so it's like basically somebody is hijacking an airplane, right? And that person happens to either parachute or whatever, and the person does not know how to sustain staying in the air without the pilot. And that's just really how it goes when it comes to, I mean, people can try to like learn or something like that, quickly get on like maybe the internet or something like that. Like, oh my God, how can I do this? Or maybe, go to a resource or something like that. But it's just like, then you also brought in competition because people are just like, oh, like, let me do this, da 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 da. And for some reason, it doesn't really interest you. You might try to like either dive, like, you feel me, like, abandon it and go to something else. But if it's really giving you money, then who knows, you might just honestly get either outproduced, outrun, and have like, a very competitive field, because somehow it'll probably become like oversaturated, especially if it's a career within the quote pink ghetto, which is basically beauty and things of that nature, that tailors to, to typically for a long time it catered mostly to white women. But there's a lot of black women that are coming obviously onto the scene, with hair care products, um you know the weight loss things of that nature, and just the being an influencer. But it's defined as the pink ghetto. So my my whole take on this is, it's just that people decided to wanted to do the most in order to harm me and think that it's okay, and that the bigger picture was just that they can steal from me, and continue stealing from me. And I was just like, no, like, this is ridiculous. It was bad enough that you even did it the first time, but like that you were consistently using me as some type of resource to leech off of, and not even either um and not source me, not even respect. Like, yo, like, it's insane. It's really insane. It's like taking a chapter out of passages from like slavery, and just, wanting to degrade and devalue me while puffing themselves up. And they thought that for the greater good, the ends justify the means, and that these black people from Trenton, New Jersey, were just, they laughed, like, seriously, laughed behind my back, smiled in my face. And it's just, and people would think that, okay, well, you're crazy. And I'm just like, this is gonna look really fucking stupid for these people when I pull up the fucking receipts, because there have been, I'm telling you, a lot of them, a lot of them, a lot of them, a lot of them, and when I was in my 20s, that these people were watching me, because I had some cameras that were installed in my house without my permission by an ex who was the son, white guy, who's adopted by a black man who is married to a white woman, a lawyer. Then the black man is actually has connections, or had connections and has connections with a lot of people now, though. But back then he had connections, within, the local government. And the thing about that, though, is just that this is a small town. This is the capital, but this is a small town. And the whole point that I'm trying to make here is just that this whole state has a history of nefarious crimes. And I've already discussed with you about how, this place has been very lax when it came to justice being served, and that now there's just the illusion of things being done, where everything is really just like, kind of behind the table, shaking hands and things of that nature. I oh my goodness, I've had such high hopes. And, I've really believe in people at face value. And that in itself, I've come to realize that that is something that I had to be accountable for because, you know, that was very naive of me. That was very naive of me. And even when I like, even when I kind of sensed it, when it comes to like, the judicial system, and when it came to people, either employees, staff, and things of that nature, I was just like, no, 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 because these people work in these positions. These are the good guys. Like, no, I think my baby just threw up. Hold on, please hold on. I don't know if you heard it, but I think my little munchkin threw up. Hold on for one moment. Oh my goodness. Evie! Sebastian? Babes? 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 Babes, where's the bigger one? She's like, you don't want that. You gotta throw up some more? It sounds like you probably gotta throw up some more. That sounded so violent. God damn. Babes, you okay? Ah, crap. All right, he's down here. Lou, you wanna come here? Come in? Can you come in? All right, close the door. Closing the door. Closing. Closing. You want it? Yeah? Come in. Come on. Yeah. 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 All right, guys, come on. I'm on a live. All right, no backsies. No backsies. All right, so you're in, he's in. Okay, make yourselves comfortable. It's gonna be a minute. Hush, do not do this. Do not do this. Okay. Here you go. Here's a candle. This candle one for you. And blah, 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 blah. Hold on, guys. So sorry. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, Sebastian. Please do not throw up on mommy's bed. Okay. Please do not do. Do not do it. Do not do it. It will turn you into a pillow. Okay. All right. Love you. Oh my goodness. I love you. Okay. All right. Guys, give me like at least 30, 40 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up. All right. Okay. Hi, what's going on? All right, so my cat threw up and I thought that I was catching the second round. And unfortunately I think I caught the first round. So if you hear some if you hear some vomiting, because he's normally a two-timer, it's normally back to back. He normally does like a really good hairball. Yeah, that's what he does. He sometimes if he overeats, he gives like a really good. It makes him give like a really good hairball. So he just like, ugh. And then after that, he does his second one. Um, and yeah, and the poopy. I'm sorry, the poop. There's his hairball is contributive to because somebody over here. I'm sorry, you let me see that. Some God damn it, girl. Show your photos. Okay, it's not working. There she is. Yeah, because someone over there does not clean the fucking litter and she just like leaves her thing right. Yeah, no, 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 you can't leave anywhere, right? Yeah, she's like, oh shit, like you really gonna tell me? Yes. It's the reason why he's throwing up right now. So he has to like, clean it and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure that that smell with her smell, like, yeah. So he's just probably gagging, like, all hell. Look at her, she's trying to leave. No, you can't leave now. No, no, no. They all know. Yeah. And she is not happy. Well, guess what? We're not happy either. Tired of walking to the house and you don't cover yourself up. So anyway, I was discussing the thing about go ahead, make yourself comfortable. You're gonna be here for a while. So I was discussing about the way how people decided to say that uh, they were basically saying like the ends justify the means when it came to like abusing me. Now people decided to get financial abundance off of oppressing me basically. Definitely there's no air quotes needed for the torture and for the harassment and for the abuse that I've endured with the help of officials and such like that, which is insane. But it's just like, okay, well then like why didn't you call the cops and things of that nature? I'm just like, I'm in the capital where there are a lot of courts and things of that nature. So while people are just playing dumb, um, it's just highly it was highly unlikely for a lot of people to step up. A lot of people just play the part of, oh, we're gonna do something without actually doing something. Um, like I have correspondence in regards to people like playing the part or people actually saying like, oh, uh, when I wanted to report somebody who's like, a town snitch. Oh yeah. Also, I have a recording of the next day when I did this the last live the the same night the house smelled like gas like lighter fluid. I shit you not. And it was supposed to be a sign. You feeling better, my homie? You feeling better? Yeah, come into bed. Hey, come into bed. So yeah, that was that. And I looked over to my neighbors and the front yard. Literally, it was like it went from lush because he had like some like evergreen kind of plants to brown as all hell. So yeah, it's like I feel like people will get mad at me, but it's just like just come out and open with it. Just like you guys have been in your group chats discussing this, and you guys have been um canoodling with other people in order to discuss this shit and to talk about it and to revel in it and to laugh about it. But all of a sudden, when I'm being very, you'll be fine. You hear him? You okay? You okay? Oh my god, he has the throw up face. Like his eyes are like, it's like, hey, you okay, man? He's like, how bad was that poo poo? He's like, you were talking about my shit again? Yeah. Oh, you're so cute. Not as cute because you're about to lay right on my side of the bed, but you're cute. It's really sad. So anyway, yeah, I just think that it's a crying shame. It really is. It's a crying shame. I just feel like just be out and open with it. Like honestly, besides, me suing certain people, um, I wouldn't say like knock on wood, I wouldn't say like, oh, what's the worst that can happen besides, me suing a few people. You know? Like There were particular people that literally crossed me, but it was the majority of Black people within the community that decided to just lie their ass off. And they started it small, where it was just like, oh, it was just, basic rumors and gossip. And obviously, those collectively, those were lies. And they thought it was just funny. And then they wanted to go ahead and push it further. And then they put in the cameras. And it was just really, really fucked up because basically I was just living my life amongst people who I thought were my family and friends. And the whole entire time, all of a sudden, there was like passive aggressive. First it started out as like, well, it was passive aggressive from, the envious friend, the envious person who called themselves my sister, or the envious person who called themselves my best friend. It started out as passive aggressive comments, and then it started out as like passive criticism based off on any activities that I wanted to do in the house that was supposed to be the privacy of my home, my place of residence, and my place, legit. And these people were just like just making any like little criticisms about everything, from what color I kept wearing, from if I wanted to wear, if I wear too much pink, if I wear too much red, if I wore too much black. It was just like really, I think it's called ethnocentrism, but it's just like ethnocentric, but it's just like any little thing that I wanted to do was under a giant microscope, and people took it upon themselves to want to judge me until it made them feel better. And it didn't make them feel better because they obviously kept doing it to this very day. And it's just like I was in my 20s, my young 20s, and people just consistently wanted to berate me passively in a group chat, and then it just manifested worldwide and just infected a whole bunch of people. And it's just like while people literally play dumb, it's just like I can, I have my limits too, where it's just like, I can code, I think they call it like code switching now, where, when you have like a sort of kind of a phone etiquette or something like that, people will literally play dumb in my face and then want to have interactions with me. And I'm just like, no, like we can have like basically any kind of interaction with me is behind like a frosted glass. When it comes to like anything offline, it's like a frosted glass because people really do the most in order to try to want to talk to me or ask me a question. As long as I say something to them, they seem to just be okay with it. It's so weird and creepy. It's really weird and creepy. And I'm talking specifically at work where they want to have a conversation with me or want to say something to me. If anybody says I love you, I'm just like, is that a fucking curse? Is that a fucking curse? Because like the way how you really don't act like you love me. If at any point in time when you wanted to see me suffer or you wanted to see me harm, you enjoyed stalking me, like you wanted to keep watching me, things of that nature, that's not love. And no way about it is that love. That's basically a curse to me. I consider that because you are a wretched individual. I consider those words to be the exact opposite of what you're saying. Like for real, for real. Now that is all part of it because I had to my little baby. Sorry for him. He's so cute. My little muff muff. It's windy as hell outside, so he's terrified. You just a baby. Go ahead, go she. He just laid up on my pillow with his little pukey self. So he's just, but he looks so adorable and scared. Um, Pardon me. Wait one more minute, because I'm just gonna tuck him in. Yes, because he's that kind of cat. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I would show you, but like right now, I'm wearing this sweater, but I'm wearing like a nightgown that's like really short. So hold on, sorry. Yeah. Here you go, baby. Lila, let me tuck you in, babes. Let me tuck you in. That's right. Just a question. Here. Yeah. Here we go. Hmm, here's your baby. Yeah. You feel better. me just hi, Moms. All right, I'm gonna let you out, babes. Since I'm up. Okay, here we go. What? Okay, mamas. Yeah, hold on, watch your face. Watch your face. Back up some. Good girl. All right. Well, careful where you go over there, please. Okay. Okay. All right, so he's over there. He's good. Wait, where's Mr. Snuggles? Where's Mr. Snuggles? Bitch. Oh. Woo. All right. All right, no more me getting up and things of that nature. Ooh, we had a little scare for a moment. Okay, my childhood bear was like misplaced. If that's too much, you can get out of there. All right, so I tucked them in some covers and stuff like that. But he is a cat, so yeah, he comes with an all year round coat. So anyway, yeah, that I mean, basically the whole thing is just that the end did not justify the means. I mean, even if you have a certain kind of mentality, and I know how people were talking about or realizing how selfish billionaires can be nowadays, but it's just like this. These people went about it the wrong way. Obviously, they cannot only sustain they cannot sustain that which they stole, or else they wouldn't still be doing what they were doing. But they've also just kind of downgraded and were the undoing of a lot of historical movements and improvements within the Black culture. I'd rather still call myself Black, and I'd rather not call them Black. I think that's just more the better thing. It was like fine, 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 fine. You don't want to claim me, and you guys were making fun of me. Fine, then I'll leave. But it's just like, man, I want to read something. Actually, hold on. I think it's more simple if I do this. I want to play something for you. This is a very actually famous scene from the whew, movie Django. Pretty stuff. As you please, Vicky. You could provide one of your loveliest black creatures to escort Django here around your magnificent grounds. Oh, well, absolutely. Bettina. Yes, sir, Vicky. What's your Jimmy's name again? Django. Django. To escort Django here around your magnificent grounds. Oh, well, absolutely. Bettina. Yes, sir, Vicky. What's your Jimmy's name again? Django. Django. Bettina Sugar, could you take Django there and take him around the grounds here and show him all the pretty stuff? As you please, Vicky. Oh, Mr. Bennett, I must remind you, Django is a free man. He cannot be treated like a slave. Now, within the bounds of good taste, he must be treated as an extension. Maybe I can actually show this to you. Hold on. Understood, Schultz. Let me. Absolutely. Bettina. Yes, sir, Vicky. Maybe, while we discuss business, you could provide one of your loveliest black creatures to escort Django here around your magnificent grounds. Oh, well, absolutely. Bettina. Yes, sir, Vicky. What's your Jimmy's name again? Django. Django. Bettina Sugar, could you take Django there and take him around the grounds here and show him all the pretty stuff? As you please, Vicky. Oh, Mr. Bennett, I must remind you,
Django is a free man. He cannot be treated like a slave. Within the bounds of good taste, he must be treated as an extension of myself. Understood, Schultz. Potato sugar?
Yes, sir.
Django isn't a slave. Django is a free man. You understand? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
You want I should treat him like white folks?
No, that's not what I said.
Then I don't know what you want, Big Daddy.
Yes, I can see that. What's the name of that Peckerwood boy from town that works with the glass? His mama work over at the lumber yard.
Oh, you mean Jerry?
That's the boy named Jerry. You know Jerry, don't you, Sugar?
Yes, sir, Big Daddy.
Well, that's it then. You just treat him like you would Jerry.
Yo. All right. Wow. So this. Okay. So here's the thing. Like I know what to say, and I know how to say it, but it's just like this part right here is just really funny. So he's just like, you can't treat basically you can't treat the free man like any other nigga because he's not like any of the other niggas, but there's still a nigger, basically. You feel me? So it's just like, okay, well, you're not a slave. You are, you are identified as a free man, but you're still a nigger. So you're a free man nigger. And I know that's just a movie, but I wanted to, make sure that I was right, and I researched it, and I am, just to be doubly sure, because I was like, I remember this from way back, but also wanted to just kind of refresh my mind, just remember that I am accurate, and I am that, that context is something that's actually real, where it's just like, no matter what, you are considered, pardon me, a nigger. It doesn't matter, like, your status. I mean, at some certain point, they can, you are identified as equal to a white person. I mentioned this before, where you're equal to as a white person, but it would be if somebody of like either like low stature. If at any point in time when you are, not identified as black, or you're not identified as a nigger, but you're still subpar. You'll never be as high as, I guess, like a blue haired blonde eye, no matter what kind of, identity, or what, however you paint yourself, or any, as many languages as you want to learn, or anything like that. Like, you'll just see yourself. There would be a glass ceiling to your perceived whiteness. But not saying that if you talk in a certain kind of way and things of that nature, that, oh, you sound white, or you are white. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there is an identity, and there is an action and behavior that has gone on since the time of slavery, where people have linked, or people have, identified that as something that's supposed to be like as better, or as, as white. And that was just, that was supposed to be, I was more funnier back in the day, before, I went through what I'm going through, and what I've gone through. But it's just like, it's still still a funny scene. It's just that, it's a little disheartening. It's because, like, yeah, there's people who, obviously, whenever I remember before, when I used to say things of like, oh, you are a nigger, you are a coon, and it was just like, well, yeah, because if you are behaving in a certain kind of way, and a lot of you guys were truly harming me in ways, you guys were using traditions, tactics from back in the day during slavery and early 1900s, early to mid 1900s, in order to oppress, silence, harass, and torture me. And then also gaslight not just me, but society, certain people in society. And we're just making it seem like, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about, when absolutely you do. You really, really do. And once this comes out, or, should it come out, because I mean, I keep speaking up, obviously. It's just like, I really want this to go down in the history books. Black people, like, it's crazy on how villainous so many Black people have been, and yet they are irate, upset, furious that they want to really get rid of me because of the things that they've done with such confidence. Well, not confidence apparently, but with such like aggression. No, Leela, you hear me talking, or do you want me to talk about the litter? Did you clean the litter? Did you clean the litter? Okay. Where people have done something with such aggression that they choose to like, really just like ignore how horrible that they've been. Um, their participation in this is likened to our history when we were first, well, excuse me, not we as all, but when many Africans were sold over to the Europeans. That this whole issue, this whole movement, this whole resentment and bitterness and hate, and the fact that it attracted a bunch of racists and people who are colorists, it is modern slavery. It really is. It really is modern slavery. And I demand justice, and I'm working on doing it as I I am just but one person, but I am working on it. It's just that obviously I have a heavy, I have a full plate of other things to do, and this is really tiring. I don't have anyone to really divulge or converse the situation to, because that's just that was one of the tactics in order to ostracize me, or in order to isolate me. If at any point in time I was actually going to talk to someone, that someone is this person who will be intimidated or paid, or just a willing participant in order to be racist, condescending, and feel that they are empowered and entitled to my space. It is with the hope that in the future children will grow up to wanting to be like learning these lessons, or studying history and be like, wow, so my parent, neighbor, sibling, older sibling, aunt, uncle did this. How long ago was slavery? I think it was like less than 200 years, but it was just like obviously less than 200 years, excuse me. But it was just like, what the fuck? These people really went out of their way to do this to somebody. That shit is insane. In the 21st century, they did this. That is wild. That is that is mental. That is disgusting. That is embarrassing. There's nothing where they can be like, oh, I don't know. I was just, I made a mistake. I didn't even know what was really going on. No, you did. You absolutely knew what was going on, and you delighted in it for over a decade. You delighted in it. And when I finally became hip to what was going on, it has been a long, tedious, and very exhausting, I wouldn't say journey, because there's also been people, a lot of these people, there are a number of churches that have been built and that have, had secret bad business. I mean, like, not like bad business, but like, I mean like corruption. Again, like I'm telling you, if you just Google like the histories of New Jersey, like in itself, it's just, it's really duplicitous. So I mean, it's things that you can obviously look up, and the things that are just definitely sprinkled in. But I'm telling you, while people over here trying to like delude you with fallacies and distractions, it's just like, no, these people did this, these people did that, these people grew, the lies that they're over here trying to spread about me are what they're talking about themselves. I shit you not. I have literally I have honored myself to be a prude. I have honored myself to be called the grandma. I've honored myself to be the person who has, took care of everybody until I was like literally backstabbed and betrayed by people who were either stealing from me, taking from me, taking my identity and things of that nature. So I'm just, man, bro, so much supportive evidence. But I'm telling you, within a corrupt city, anything can seriously happen. Anything can seriously happen. And it's really awful that these are black people. Black people. Yeah, like that was literally like, yo. I think that if I was probably telling anybody else, I'm like, yo, like this is crazy because this is by black people. And a lot of people who, especially who are racist, who already, had these kind of prejudice against us, they'd have been like, okay, and like we are not surprised. Well, wow. Although with them buddying up, with making allyship with black people, the interracial, it was like an interracial mingling, basically. And businesses merged, contracts signed, things of that nature. You forget, like, I used to work within the government, the like the government buildings, like downtown when I was in high school, and I also have relatives and things of that nature that work for the city. So it's just like, and I also still have like people in the loop. So it's just like it's really unsettling to know that I grew up with these people and they were still willing to go ahead and enjoy and delight in harming me when they had no good intention to do this. Like, I mean, there was no real reason or no justified reason for them to do this. They had to make shit up. I still have the text messages of, just me helping out people, from people over here like wanting to hang out with me or giving me compliments and things of that nature, only for them to want to go ahead and lie and try to paint me a picture in a certain kind of way. There's there's been content going around where it says like, supposedly like I'm a whore or like I'm a prostitute and things of that nature. And I have pictures of myself. There was like a character from the TV show where they had like these live action robots that that look very human like. Westworld. So at Westworld, there are these two characters who are harlots, and I thought it was really cool. Like, in fact, during that time, the whole harlot kind of situations and things of that nature, was actually, it was trending. I don't mind those kind of characters. And it was just like for me, that was just kind of like cosplaying. Like for me, that was just the kind of, oh my God, do I have a fluffy? I'm so sorry because sometimes I do keep fluffies on my face. I literally smooched the cat. Oh my God, I literally smooched the cat. Sorry. Okay, I hate when that happens, especially when I'm doing the video. Okay, actually, let me do my nails too because they're due for a redo. I've been using like this nail strengthener because unfortunately I've been going when I went to like the nail salon and stuff like that. They kept drilling my hands in order to do like in order to paint them because I would get like the gel, but it really kept doing it to the base. Like, oh my gosh, I hate that, and it weakened my nails. It's a love and hate situation with me and the nail salons because like they have such talent. And I love the massage, and I love the hand massage, and yes, they have such skills. Only they didn't butcher my nails, my nail beds. Okay. Pardon me. Kind of thinking. I think I will. Yeah, I think I will. I just think that this has been a total nightmare, really. Not one that it's not one to be fearful of, even though There have been literal attempts on my life, and people have tried to intimidate me and have done things in order to try to break me. But there have been damages that are irreparable, time that cannot be bought, things that have been done. And for them to say things of like, oh, I need to keep working or I need to work, even after supposedly, I'm free. I'm like, bitch, I've always been free. Like what you guys are doing is criminalistic. Okay. What I demand is justice. This is insane that you guys have went above and beyond to participate in this. And all it did was just, put a fucking stain on the black identity. Like we were supposed to get over that. Okay. When the Africans had literally participated in slave trading, they had to come a long way in order to be, like in order for the identification to just, I wouldn't say go away because it was never forgiven, but it was just like you had your like Africa had its redemption arc, making things right. You feel me? Like there's nothing that can erase exactly the history, the foundation of, black American history, African American history. But things can be made right. And from there, we fought the good fought, we fought the good fight, things of that nature. Some of us survived, some of us didn't. Pioneered. We came up out of it. We shouldn't have had to have gone through that at all, but we came up out of it. So it's disgusting on how black people really just volunteered to be like, mm, it's like going up a hill and then sliding the fuck down and then dragging people that you see trying to climb up. I'm like, nope, come back down. It's like, wow, that's how it is. And instead of people getting upset, it's just like your ego is talking. Seriously, your ego is talking. Every day there were people trying to tell me exactly what I should do with my life or try to recommend some ABC shit that I already know, thinking that they're helping me. But really all they had to do was tell me exactly about like the materials I needed in order to put these people, have these people arrested and tried. It is embarrassing knowing that, I welcomed or I accepted people of all walks of life and was just like, oh, hey, like, yeah, like, seriously, like, no judgment. It's like, as long as you're not doing any harm to anybody else, you're cool. Like, you're cool in my book. I'm not saying like, cool, like, amazing. I'm just saying like, yo, you're okay in my book. Like, who am I to judge? You feel me? Like, I'm just a regular person. I have no kind of quarrels or qualms with you because you are an individual. You are your own self. As long as you're not harming anybody, then it should be okay. But now all people want is just try to come up against me, and it's just. And then people were trying to guilt me for, having the demeanor and having my viewpoints that I have. And I'm like, you were the ones who decided to go into history about one of the darkest times of our history. And yet you were acting surprised that I'm carrying the same kind of response, mannerisms, boundaries, and resilience as, as my ancestors, as some of my ancestors. Like you just sound really fucking stupid. You are really fucking stupid to have tried this, and you sound really fucking stupid to say any of this aloud where you are the offended party, considering all the bullshit that you've done to me. Okay, so now I'm going to okay. I don't need to shape this. Do I need to shape this? Yeah, shit. Okay, I don't think. Oops. I don't think I'm gonna go to. Yeah, pardon me. Okay. So I play that clip of Django where it's just like talking about how the guy really is just like he was trying to make it seem like, oh, Django is special, but he's, at the very end of the day, he's still a nigger. He's a free man, but he's still a nigger. So it was just like, while you're over here attracting the whomever, while you're attracting people of a higher tax bracket from the people who, who originally were abusing me, you were still considered a nigger, like at the very fucking end of the day. I wanted to I wanted to read something to you from an article in 2017, May 18th. Excuse me, yeah, 2017. It says a few years ago, I read slave narratives to explore the lives of Black agricultural workers after the end of the Civil War. The narratives came from the Federal Writers Project of the Works Progress Administration, a program that employed researchers from 1936 to 1938 to interview former enslaved people, producing more than 2,300 narratives that thankfully reside online and are fully searchable. And he linked it to actual, to the actual sources of documented evidence of from slaves, like literal slaves in America. So I got a page. Those whom the law defined as property recounted various unique human experiences, their daily horrors, excuse me, their daily horrors and was it monotonous life. How they freed themselves or learned of their emancipation, the surge of exhilaration upon securing freedom, and how they endured life on the edges of a white supremacist society in the decades thereafter. I literally found this article today. Pardon me. I'm just sorry. Pardon me. You would have thought that this was a fucking like alcohol, but no. I wanted to say something. Hold on, because I thought of something and I didn't take the bottle away from my mouth. Now I forgot. Hold on. Maybe if I drink some more. Okay, hold on. No. Pardon me. Can't remember. I got really excited. I was like, oh wait. No. Anyway, I the surge of exhilaration upon securing freedom and how they endured life on the edges of white supremacist society in the decades thereafter. As I pored over the narratives, I was struck less by their experiences, as heartrending as they were, than by all right, now I remember. It says their daily horrors and monotonies. So this ties into basically the tactics that they've done. So in order to go ahead and isolate me and first off, they wanted to isolate me. So they ostracized me by tainting my character, my characteristics, and my whole identity negatively by basically tethering a lot of the shit that they've done and the most ugliest things that they can think of. lying about it and then saying that I did it, which is disgusting. And I can actually have evidence that disproves this. So, um, bad boy. So, when it was talking about their daily horrors and monotonies, this is what I had to endure. I had to endure basically being harassed every day, people doing like some petty ass shit in which they were, fucking with my front yard or fucking with my car, like scratching my car, flat iron, like, throwing a rock at my car, trying to swerve in, traffic in order for me to hit them, just doing outlandish things, stealing my money, stealing my identity, just doing a lot of things that were just very juvenile, but then they took it to a whole another extent. And it give the whole definition of inch and a mile, where grown ass people just didn't want to take any responsibility or accountability to this day. That's what I'm saying. Like, as these people grow up, and it's crazy because there's some people right now who are in their teens who, obviously don't feel like any kind of remorse for the bullshit that's going on. And I'm looking to the younger future, because already, like, the majority of a lot of people are just like already fucked. Really, a lot of these people are already fucked. It's a shame that it took me consistently speaking up for myself in order for people to actually be like, okay, wait. Even to this day, people are still trying to like silence me and whatnot like that, and being like really fucking petty. It's just like, you just don't get it until you are put into your place. So if I had to keep speaking, and while you guys are watching me, and if I have to keep speaking as often as I need to, I may not speak every day, but if I speak and say the necessary things, which is all the details about what you guys have been doing or doing enough, and backing it up, and then going here offline and even having to do the footwork in order to spread this out, each time you guys are over here trying to delay me is one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year that the younger generation is getting older. And as you are over here teaching people about the importance of Black history, or the importance of history, period, and the importance of, of oppression and injustices and equality and equity, these people will become hip to the game. Already, our generation and the generation before us, I'm a millennial, our generation and the generation before us are already having the boundaries to cut off toxic family members and to move themselves in alignment, which protects them in the best way, where it's not selfish, where it's not like it's not too self-serving, or it's not like in a negative self-serving way, but it's in a healthy self-serving way where it protects that person's well-being, peace of mind, health, financial and mental, and social too. So just imagine about the younger children who will literally grow up to be adults, when they will adapt and excuse me, not adapt, but they will adopt those same kind of standards and boundaries, but also wanting to go ahead and hold you guys accountable, like you held the other people accountable who were over here lynching, who were lynching people during the civil rights movement, and harassing people during the civil rights movement. Like, so you find yourself face to face with accountability, and the fact that that scares you, then why aren't you stopping? That's the whole thing. Like, yo, it's just like, what are you afraid of? You feel me? Like, you were so cocky to do this. What are you afraid of? And on top of that, it's just like, you could either have a redemption moment where you try to be like, okay, well, look, this is how we're gonna resolve it from here on out. This was really fucked up. Definitely don't try to like skirt this underneath the fucking like rug, because again, then you would be repeating fucking historic matters and making shit worse, where that's just really fucked up and crazy, where you think that, oh wow, gee, she's being so fucking difficult because she's not accepting, like, our money, and to silence her. Are you listening to yourself? You are really trying to, like, you guys have really, again, off my fucking back and off my fucking oppression, you guys made it your business in order to try to get financial abundance and an identity and a business off of being something that you're not. Okay. And then when the time comes for, you to pay the piper or whatever, all of a sudden you are acting like you're tapped out, and like you don't want to man up, woman up, to be the example that you pretended to be. Insane. Insane. Like it really fucks up history. It really fucks up like you guys are doing the most. Like you rather pretend that you guys are adults and that you are good people. But and you guys wanted to point the fingers at other people who aren't. And it's just like, yo, that's crazy. That's insane. That's so insane. Some people will have that luxury to go ahead and just, go back into the shadows and just go back to their group chats and be like, okay, well, well, I will just talk privately about, old girl. But some of you went as far as, being really fucking evil and nasty on the fucking platforms. There are people who are obviously doing the redemption part, which is fine. But there's people who are literally still going on and being like, evil, okay, unjustly vindictive because I want to speak up, because I don't want to have you in my space. There are people who I'm not throwing heat to the people who are literally speaking out and against my abusers, especially the initiating ones. That's the ones who I'm literally going for. The other ones, it's just like, you have a choice on whether or not to support my abusers or not. Okay. Obviously, just like in every other historical matter, you can't be forgiven for this. This is the moment that I single-handedly had to endure publicly before the public at the very end of the day. I had to live and endure through all this shit, through all this pain and all this kind of torture that you guys have to do to me. There is never going to be any forgiveness. And it's really sick on how there's, people who are spiritual, religious churches and things of that nature that are saying, oh, hey, she, they were speaking on my behalf and I will never forgive anybody. Damn sure not them. And that's so disgusting that these are women, black women, white women that have affiliated with them to say on my behalf that I forgive and I don't. I will never. Just like any other of the other races and other histories, where it's just like you don't forgive. You just move past and you do your best to resolve the situation to the offended party. It's not about, oh, what's good for everybody. It's about what's best for the offended party. That person, the person that's the offended person, the offended group is what takes priority right now. And that is me. Okay. It's just really wild on how so many people would just rather just go ahead and clam up when they were acting so big and bad, like the big bad wolf. And it's just I've given you guys warnings. Like I'm like, do you not know what you're doing right now? And like how things play out. And like if anything worse to still happen to me, it's just like it would just do nothing but continuously feed the hunger, the insane hunger of people who just, want to keep doing harm on the down low. It's like somebody who got cheated and didn't get caught. There's just gonna be somebody who's I'm like, come on, because you've seen the movies and you've seen people who obviously because I myself have been cheated on. So it's just like if you have that moment where it's like, okay, well, they didn't get caught, they're just gonna keep doing it. They're just gonna keep doing it. So I'm just like, we got oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anyway, so yeah, their daily horrors and monotonies, how they free themselves or learned of their emancipation, the surge of exhilaration upon securing freedom, and how they endured life on the edges of a white supremacist society and the decades thereafter. This is so fucked up. Pardon me. As I poured over the narratives, I was struck less by their experiences as heartrending, pardon me, this fluffies, as heartrending as they were, than by how their experiences sculpted their self perceptions. The best explanation of what I gleaned was social scientists called internalized oppression, describes the psychological trauma that ensues when a person from a stigmatized group believes those negative stigmas. White folk indoctrinated them into accepting their supposed inferiority. These narratives illustrate the success of this campaign of mental terrorism, and no word convey the depth of this internalized oppression more than nigger. Now, whenever I hear the the epithet, a visual and emotional representation of the heinous process by which a people, my people, were induced to think they were less than trespassers into my thoughts. After years of habitual use of nigger, I banished it from my speech to honor the humanity that many never saw in themselves. The internalized oppression revealed itself in various ways. Sometimes the former enslaved people clearly, perhaps subconsciously, considered themselves subhuman, just like how their former owners regarded them. Jim Allen, for example, dubbed himself his master's pet nigger boy and a stray, and thought himself privileged because he could sleep on the floor beside his master's bed. That he likened himself to a fortunate mangy mutt or frisky feline crushed me. The word laid bare a worldview that held black folk as a lower order of being, as when Irene Robertson claimed her former master, Mr. Sanders, was mean, in part because he beat his wife like he beat a nigger woman. Nigger also signaled antipathy toward fellow black folk. After the end of slavery, Mattie Moorman went north to Wisconsin with a white family for whom she worked. Members of the family wanted her to go to the circus to watch a black boy's performance. She told her interviewer, "Guess they thought it would be a treat to me to see another nigga." I told him, "Lord, don't you think I see lots more than I once every day when I was at home?" But read how she talks about the family's baby, whom she constantly watched over, fearing irrationally someone would kidnap him. No matter what time they come home, they'd find me there. "Why don't you go in your bedroom and lie down?" they'd ask me. "No," I tell them. "Somebody might come in and they would have to get that baby over my dead body." Her eyes fixated on the white baby, but she saw too many niggers. A barrage of dispiriting uses of the word bloodied me as I combed through the narratives. The Ku Klux Klan kept the niggers scared. The Ku Klux Klan did a whole lot to keep the niggers away from the polls. Slaves owned by nice masters are repeatedly called free niggers. Just like the skit. Just like the skit. It was just like, oh, don't treat him like every other nigga because he's not like every other nigga. So whether you're free or whether you are a slave, you're still a nigger. Let that be clear. The thing is that for you guys to go ahead and try to use these tactics on me, and where you thought that I was less than you, you were at the very end of the day, you were still a nigger. You were still considered inferior. You may have thought yourself to be, way up there, but no, at the very end of the day, you are still considered a nigger. And the tactics that you have done were taken back from back in the days, which still made you a nigger. So when I accurately called you a nigger, you are a nigger for participating in this bullshit that was so unnecessary that you made for a profit, nigger. And for the ones who are really thorough, so that way they can get pats in the back and rewards from white people, I called y'all coons because, well, that's what you are too. And I have examples of that, but I can get into that into another day. It's just that again, my civil and human rights have been violated by people who thought it was okay to, for them to go about doing this. And even if you are like still somewhere laughing from the comfortability of wherever you are, just know you have set the tone for something that happened seriously that will really go ahead and like bite you in the ass if it hasn't already. And it's like as it should. The balance definitely needs to happen if it's not already here. So slaves owned by nice masters are repeatedly called free niggers. Niggers ain't got no sense. Put them in authority and they get so uppity. Well, it's so funny because again, if you are a nigger, I have to say though, niggers ain't got no sense. Put them in authority and they get so uppity. If you are a nigger, yes. If you are a black person, you do have like with black people, there is such a a suaveness, just an independent identity that is beautiful that I've known myself to believe in when it comes to being black. There's just like, oh my gosh, like the thing about what I had put down on Facebook so many years ago, I was like swag, something we African Americans got. It's just like something about us that is just so uniquely different, or that would make other people want to hate us. But it was just like I thought that I thought that the coon died. I thought I thought it died out like a dodo bird, but no, it maintained. It really fucking maintained. And when you have those nigger traits, because you decided to go ahead and start reenacting the same kind of traits as back in the day in order to go ahead and just exhibit or exercise some nigger ways, some niggerish ways. um Tell me. I was taken aback, but I was just like, looking at all these people doing all this cheesiness and all this theatrical fakeness and things of that nature. Because there's a difference between plastic. There's a difference between being a plastic distinguished person and a genuine distinguished person. Everybody has been just putting on a fucking show. And that is what made you guys considered uppity. Not because you wanted better for yourself. We fucking earned it. Black people fucking earned. We were overdue of it. But we have, like, seriously, there is an overdue invoice. It's called reparations. But unfortunately, because intermingling and all other kind of stuff, that kind of muddies the water. But it's just like it was overdue. It was overdue. And reparations were definitely demanded, and we got shortchanged, and so we earned the fucking right to be very proud of our being very proud of ourselves, as we should have, originally when we were brought over here, which I'm pretty sure we were. It's just that people, white people and black people, because that's actually something I wanted to put into the uh up on my Twitter, because there were black slave owners too who wanted to just break us, who wanted to just go ahead. It was just like, damn, so many miles away, you broke us, or you try to break us, and you go into a new land, and you have more people trying to break us and harm us. And I keep saying us because you know, black people. Because some people are very offended if they be like, okay, well, I would like, I know my ancestors was in a slave, and you're like, you know what, you may have, you may be right on that part, but when I say us, I'm just saying as collectively as black people. So, well, I meant to say, like, basically just many black people. I mean, you know what I mean. The thing is, it's just, it's truly fucked up on how, like, no one asked you. Well, excuse me. People may have asked you to do certain things, but at the very end of the day, what did you didn't ask yourself, like, oh, is this what I wanted? And actually, no, you probably did. Like, did you know that there's going to have these kind of consequences? Sometimes people just don't care. They just get caught up in the moment. And it's just like, but that's still no excuse. There was no excuse for you guys to have done this at all to me. None. As much as the lies that you went about trying to talk about me, it's like if anybody came to me about, oh, da 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 da, said this, da 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 da, said that, I literally will have exact proof, legitimate proof, not this whole fake profile that they've done on me, none of this whole um employee government kind of situations from the city that they that, like, they've done to me, because I literally have correspondence from them, from their exact email saying opposite. These people have done word of mouth in order to really go ahead and fucking flaw my identity completely. I'm nearing my 40s, and these people have done the utmost in my 20s and my 30s. These are wretched people. Yeah, I do not have a good thing to say about the modern black people, the majority of a lot of black people that have really done their damnedest in order to harm me, one up me, and try to subject me to ridicule, harm, harassment, and some of them death. I'm disgusted. Fucking disgusted. If you want to keep it a buck, I'm fucking disgusted. So yeah, when it's talking about niggers ain't got no sense, and they don't. Niggers ain't got no sense. Put them in authority, and they get so uppity. If you give a black person, if all right, a black person, a black person can be a nigger, but a nigger can never be a black person. I'm sorry, but like just a black person. Because initially when I thought of the term black, it was just like black is just a black, just basically it's just a black person. But if you are black, if you are a nigger, then you can be honestly you can be any race to be the nigger of that race, of the respective race though. But it's just like it's really all about an identity. Like you have been so fucking horrible as a human being. So disgusted. I really am fucking disgusted. But obviously in this context, they're talking about a black person who they feel is just like less than, as the bottom of the pit, that was just, shit, like probably less than shit. It's not even a human being. So yeah. So basically, yeah, like niggers ain't got no sense. Put them in authority and they get so uppity. You make them trying to be like, a slave or overseer. And I've shown you some photos of black people literally, pardon me, whipping another black person in front of a white person. There are several renditions of like there's several different cartoons and actual photos from back in the day during slavery time of that kind of shit. There are passages, there are diary entries and things of that nature where black people will go ahead and beat on the slave, and they themselves are literally just they're either slaves themselves or they are slaves, or they're just like maybe like one step above slave. That's it. That's it. That's literally how you people are coming. You want you it's not even fucking 200 years yet, and you bitches really wanted to go ahead and just be like, hey white people, look at this. It's like you're the ones that wanted to, for a long time we were the ones that were over here justifiably saying like, hey, we are being mistreated, we are being harmed, things of that nature. Of course, yeah, black on black crime when it came to like drugs and things of that nature. But no, out of your free will, you decided for the fuck of it, for come up and for this, that, here, and the third, that you want to go ahead and oppress me. And the situation is that it influenced other people who are black to go ahead and oppress and kill and harm that black person with a group. It also attracted racists in order to wanting to go ahead and participate in harming me, to get their kicks off, and also to misdirect their hate. So, and it also at that same time, it was kind of like wiping the hands clean of white people's history, because it's just like, bitch, y'all crazy. It was giving the essence of the black slave owners who would harm and harass their own black slaves. You did it to yourself. God, you did it to yourselves. Why? Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Man. But anyway, put them in authority and they get so uppity. As just a actually, hold on. Mm. Okay, so this is where, obviously where it began. Pardon me, it's my class today. Yeah. Look at this nigga smiling. I mean, obviously it's not like an actual photograph, but I'm pretty sure. Hold on, talking about, talking about this guy right there. Look him smiling. Insane. I mean, obviously I know that he's not. No, it's not a real photo, but I'm pretty sure that this is not too far off from what was going on. And this guy right here is begging for his life before being like bludgeoned to death, punished. Hmm. Ooh, this one right here is a good one. A flogging. Now this one right here is obviously a black person, right? These are black people right here and a white person looking on. And look, they both have tattered clothing. So it's just like, yo, like you coming from the same walk of life. Ain't that much, a step better. And yet here you are really just doing the most so that way you can get favors, so that way you can get some coins. And people are just like, yeah, usually, yeah, fuck yeah. Disgusting. That coin is only going to temporarily provide you for a limited time where you would have to consistently be dependent on it. And then the stakes are going to be higher. Like that's how they get you. They're going to give you maybe like, maybe think of it like, oh, I'm going to give you like, 3 nail polishes for betraying her. And you're like, ooh, 3 nail polishes, okay. And then they're just like, hey, look, I'm kind of tapped out. We have any more nail polishes? And I'm just like, yeah, I got some more nail polishes. Only got 2 though, but you won't have to do something for it. You're desperate, or you're probably just very interested. And so, yeah, you're like, oh, fuck yeah. So now you're going to have to do something that's a little bit harder or a little bit more serious. And then it's going to get less because it's like, it's going to be less, but it's probably going to be worth 2 of these, and it's going to be something serious. It's probably going to get you in trouble. Like, I mean, this was already getting you in trouble, but something is even more in trouble. Probably something definitely would jeopardize your own fucking life. And I mean, they got you during the first action, but it's just like, yeah, like yo, like my main abusers aren't putting the fear in my heart because I've literally kept talking, speaking out, and which is why these people have not said anything to my face yet. These people have literally been doing nothing but just playing innocent and dumb. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, bruh. Mm-mm. But yeah, it's yeah. Like you give him this, and you give him this, and all of a sudden they get uppity. They get uppity. They get so uppity. Niggas ain't got no sense. Women authority and they get so uppity. I was just a poor old nigga waiting for Jesus to come and take me to heaven. Slave traders are called nigger traders. Defiant enslaved people required the service of a nigger breaker. Nigger dogs, that was my stomach. Nigger dogs aided the recapture of those who escaped. Perhaps more depressing, ironically, was that circumstances sometimes led them to opt calling a black person a nigger. William Porter stated that some of the Tennessee niggers were called free niggers. There was a colored man in Pulaski, Tennessee, who owned slaves, a black man who kept others in bondage. He's a colored man. Yet those who were owned were niggers. Pardon me. I instantly thought of a moment from the OJ Made in America documentary when a white woman who saw black people talking to Simpson uttered, "Look at those niggers sitting with OJ." Simpson delights in hearing this because she knew I wasn't black. She saw me as OJ. Porter's outlook matched that of both the racist white woman and the unspeakably racially deranged OJ. Since reading those, actually, yeah. because some of you guys really have taken it too far. The ones that were willing to do the most in order to, you guys are trying to be cute and project and say that I was pandering to white people, and I'm just like, no, I wasn't pandering to white people. You bitches were pandering to white people. It was why you have done the things that you've done, and you were trying to vilify me and taint me and really try to rewrite the narrative in order to make me, um, you know, and another target for more hatred in order for people to be desensitized in order for you to try to like X me out, bruh. Some of you who have, I guess, excelled in the rights, in the eyes of certain kind of, racist people or just people in society who just believe that, hey, look, as long as you get that money, it doesn't matter. Um, Once you excel to, I guess, to a certain kind of standard, you are still seeing less and less of, of the black, or I guess of the nigger, or just like, of the black person. So you're still a colored person. And if they were upset at the very end of the day, in the back of their mind, they're still thinking you of as a nigger. But you still, whatever happens, you're still not as equal to or greater than the white person that's all the way at the top, the one who you need to still suck up to. Like they see exactly how you move. So it's just like, I mean, that is like, the trait of everything. Remember to teach people, teach people a lot of things, but not everything in order for, to, but I don't know, some people have a way. And the thing here is that it would be a mistake for you to keep using pity in order to go ahead and keep promoting my abusers, because ultimately, at the very end of the top, if you have a punk ass bitch as your fucking leader, when shit really gets hard and you're in a face to face situation with a true fucking bully and enemy, they're gonna look to you in order to bitch, whine, and cry. And then it's gonna be like they're basically like fucking Joffrey. Okay, mentally deranged, not knowing exactly what the fuck to do with themselves and looking for other people in order to save the fucking day. Since reading those narratives, I've noticed this mindset when perusing the remarks of freed people in other contexts. For example, before the trial of Rufus Martin, a black man who stood accused of the 1903 murder of Charles Swackhammer, a woman whom the Fort Worth Star Telegram referred to as an old negress who occupied a front seat in the courtroom, bellowed, "It's the white people that is to blame." They know that they got to make niggas work or they ain't no good. And they know as long as they low nigga men to loaf around low down saloons, they ain't going to work. Pardon me. This man come from a good nigga family, one of the best I knows of, but the police allowed him to loaf around without working and to drink and gamble till he just got to be no good and thought he didn't have to work. The police ought to raid them low down nigga saloons every day and every night till they make every blessed one of the nigga toughs go to work, or else send them all to the county road. Them saloons is what makes bad niggas and the white folks is to blame for it, because they let them run. Oh God. It's not okay. So if I understand this correctly, it's basically of a black woman who is upset at another black person who's a free man, who comes from a good family, but is finding himself going to the bar, drinking himself into a stupor, and wanting to be highly inebriated and just also gamble probably his family fortune and whatnot like that away. And she's blaming the white people, I guess, for allowing him to be free and for allowing him to run without giving him work. And unfortunately, that I think that right there is the evolution of what nowadays would be called hustle culture. Um, don't get it twisted. Like I don't approve of a man really like all right, like hey look however you would like to have fun, go ahead and have fun. But it at the same time, like there's also a way to responsibly go about doing that. you know, this is not tough to decide on how to go about like translating or interpreting this. I think that what the woman is saying has some points, but I don't think that it's entirely correct because at the very end of the day, it is that guy's money to do exactly what he is, and he's a free fucking man. You don't know, like she doesn't even. I would imagine that she doesn't know any of the shit that he went through or that he survived. Actually says that he came from a good family, but it's just like regardless, I myself would not support anybody who wants to become extremely like, an alcoholic and a gambler. That's just, that's definitely something to call out. That is not that is not something that is the white man's fault. That is something that, is there because of white people, but it's not. That's just like, some people do it, but that's like people who actually have who like sued McDonald's, you know, sue white people for fucking slavery. Sue white people for the injustice and inequities going on within the world, and especially particularly within America. But for having for a salon, um, I think honestly, I feel like that for real. I feel like a saloon or a salon is just a place to like let some steam go. It's all about responsibility. Some people don't know how to be responsible and accountable for exactly what they intake and what they do with it. This wasn't like making this wasn't like one of the presidents, introducing or planting crack cocaine or any of that shit in the ghettos. Now that's fucked up. That's the white man's fault. But a saloon where it has, alcohol and you have like, a moment to release, like, a casino or something, like casino life, something like that. That is not the white man's fault. This was just, this was like an irresponsible black person who did not know exactly what the fuck. Well, no, he knew what the fuck that he was supposed to do with his life, but decided to do the opposite. He is free in order to make his own decisions. And if he decided to go ahead and bankrupt himself, then that is his fucking fault. And this person is really speaking out of pocket because she's just saying, you idle hands is the devil's work, kind of stuff like that, basically. That part, when it comes to this situation, again, it's all about responsibilities. But no, I don't believe that you should just always keep working. And this person is just really just always talking about like, having this person work, make him tough. They know that they gotta make niggas work or they ain't no good. And they know as long as they low nigga men to loaf around low down saloons, they ain't going to work. Disgusting. It's disgusting. Do you know that when you retire, you get to do whatever the fuck it is that you want to? Just, like travel and stuff like that. That's just crazy. Or even if you just have the money, you don't need to work. Just go ahead and do what you think. Do what you need to do. But that's insane that this person wants to go ahead and identify a free man to be another workhorse. And recently, I heard a few times from black women who really, passive aggressively were just like, or saying it just like so fucking casual and cavalier. Like, oh yeah, so after this situation, you're gonna be doing this, where you're gonna be serving the people, helping the people, work. It's gonna be, oh, busy this, busy that. Bitch, fuck you. You really are a stupid fucking bitch. All you bitches are. Really, for having that kind of mentality, that is so fucking crazy. Because you are a nigger. You really are playing into the hands of people who are having warped mentalities and stagnant mindsets of their ancestors and their forefathers and this, that, here, and the third. Some people who are still alive. That is inherent racism. And you decided to be the coon to go ahead and relay that message. Disgusting. You're awful. You're an awful, awful, awful person. And it's not just for my sake. Of course, I'm going to say it for my sake. Obviously, I'm going to say it for my sake because I've literally consistently have done nothing but go ahead and record data and rely information to you guys would be universally sound information because it really does affect us all. But because you guys took that shit for granted, I'm speaking for my fucking self. You guys don't want to listen, then you don't have to listen because this heat, I've given you several warnings multiple times over and you never heeded it. Okay, pardon me. All right, it's 4:45. It's 5:51. I need to go ahead and do some other things, the things. But that's just pretty much it. Where it's just like, who the fuck are you to come up out of here and, be so out of pocket and assume that you can go ahead and try to tell me exactly what I should do, who I should link up with, this, that, here, and the third. The nigger in you is still alive. Okay. The nigger and coon in you is still alive. Go fuck yourself, go heal, go to therapy and all the other kind of stuff. And if you can't find any resolution into that, then you know what you can do. I don't need to say it on here, but you know what you can do. Okay. I don't wish you the best. I don't forgive you. Okay. But as far as people who literally have moved forward with, actually doing the right thing, then you're not just doing this for me, but you're doing it for yourself too, and you're doing it for the future. Okay, this is me clapping. Is that I have the thing here. Okay, this is literally like what we can do because I'm trying. I'm in pursuit and I'm doing the necessary things that's possible in order for me to get justice. While a lot of people who are sadly in positions of power are being punk niggers and very racist. All right. So yeah, my name is Shalise, and I have other information to provide you guys at a later time. Yeah. All right. Bye. Okay, hold on. That was actually really sweet.